All right, who knows the basic history of the Monster Factory? Not our people. So, you want me a couple? All right, just quick rundown of the Monster Factory. It was, everybody else has heard this story, I'm sure, a million times, but Monster Factory started in 1983. Larry Sharp was contacted by the original Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, to train Buddy Rogers' son to be a pro wrestler, because prior to that, Larry had trained Tony Atlas and Kevin Von Erich and a couple other people. And he liked the way Larry did business and stuff like that. Started training his son, and they opened a wrestling school together. It was like one of the first wrestling schools. It was just called a wrestling school. There was no like Monster Factory then. So then what happened was, it turns out his son didn't want to be a pro wrestler. So Buddy Rogers just goes, all right, well, you can keep the school. It's yours now. And at the time, there were some students there. And then right around the time when Bam Bam Bigelow came in, oh yeah, and then prior to that, he also trained King Kong Bundy. And him and Larry actually wrestled each other like in high school and stuff. Then it was Bam Bam Bigelow came in. Bam Bam Bigelow came in, then it changed to the Monster Factory. And that's when all the fanfare happened and everybody just started knowing who the Monster Factory was. Wall Street Journal did articles on him, Sports Illustrated, People Magazine, MTV was contacting him. He was everywhere. The school was everywhere. Who's that?
Another one.
A little late? All right, well, don't sit down. Let me get your paperwork. So then, Monster Factory took off, and they were everywhere. Then all of a sudden, they started just churning out everybody. Headbangers, Chris Candido, Raven, D-Lo, Tatanka, Tatanka, The Godfather, Gilbert, Cliff, Sheamus, The Big Show. I mean, they were turning them out left and right. And then around 98, Larry was diagnosed with cancer, and he was given 30 days to live. And after that, things got a little rough. The building never closed, and it was always just, like when we trained at the Monster Factory, it was a building and a ring. That's it. It was a warehouse and a ring. And we really didn't do anything other than wrestle. I don't even think we did promos. I think it was just wrestle. And
it wasn't this kind of ring.
no, it was a boxing ring. That's why, one of the reasons why I don't wrestle anymore is because my back got screwed up. It was a boxing ring, and it has no give. They're bad. And I was doing stupid stuff, and that's why I try to tell everybody else not to do stupid stuff. I was jumping off the top rope, doing leg drops, just practicing. And one day I got up and I couldn't walk, and that sucked. But everything was kept going, and then around, he recovered from cancer, and then around 2000, they kept just moving buildings to buildings, and then in 2011, he had contacted me. I had trained at the Monster Factory in '98, and he had contacted me to come in and just work with the guys. And once I started working with him, and I was like, we need to do this, we need to do social media, we need to do Facebook, we need to do Twitter, we need to be contacting people, bringing people in, contacted Joe Briscoe, and started doing all that, and then it started taking off again, and to the point where Larry just said, Buddy Rogers left it to me, I'm leaving you the Monster Factory, put everything in your name. It was unbelievable, and it was an honor, and we started going to all these legend shows and everything like that, and I'm being introduced, and he's just like, this is Dan, you know, he's my protege, he's taking over the Monster Factory. And people are like, I want to talk business. He goes, no, Dan owns the Monster Factory now, so it was like unbelievable. And then like he was going to go and move away, and I was like, you can't, because no one knows who the fuck I am, so you got to validate me. So he stuck around, and then things started taking off. QT came back, Meanie got in touch with me, Bill Wiles, another student from the Monster Factory, and what was he, 96, 95?
95 to Closing.
Because he broke in with like balls, because they went to school together. Yeah,
He was
Balls
in
Mahoney was another.
He was in ECW.
Yeah, he was in ECW, he was beautiful Billy Wiles, Bilvis Wesley. He's another trainer here. And things started taking off, and I tried to create the Monster Factory the way I always wanted it, which was, even before NXT came out, I wanted it to be like this. I wanted the rings here, I wanted amateur mats, I wanted the weight room, and it just so happened it fell into our lap by the coach from Paulsboro contacting us and saying, do you want to come move into our gym? I said, well, hell yeah. So we got full reign of the weight room, the 2 rings, amateur mats, we got a tire for flipping, and I mean, you can do everything here. We bring in Joe Briscoe once a year, Les Thatcher, Rip Rogers. I started just opening our school up. Before, we didn't bring anybody in. It was almost like we were hiding stuff. Now we welcome everybody in. It's turned into a good family, and it's worked out well. We do 2 shows a month. I do birthday parties for kids on the days we don't do shows. Am I missing anything, pretty much?
I mean, basically.
That's like the ballpark of how everything came to be. My history was, how many people here always wanted to wrestle their entire life? All right, leave your hands up. I don't believe you. I believe you. I half believe you. Don't believe you. Believe you, you. I believe you. I believe you. Don't believe you. I believe you. Now, why do you think I said that about the guys and not? Why do you think I don't think that you always wanted to be a wrestler?
I don't know.
Who did I say didn't want to be a wrestler? You? Why do you think I said that?
I have no idea.
Does anybody who I said I don't believe them? Does anyone have an idea why I said that? Do any of you look like you would be on TV? Right? So, I know when I wanted to become a pro wrestler, I was 12 years old, and I saw it, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. And just so happened the Monster Factory was just starting to take off with Bam Bam Bigelow. I had every newspaper clipping up on the wall. I had the heights and weight of everybody who was prominent in pro wrestling written on my wall. At the time, I was maybe 70 pounds. I started high school at 4'11", 89 pounds, and I still wanted to always do it, and everybody laughed at me. But all I did was wrestle all through high school. I wrestled in the summer. How many of you have amateur wrestling background? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, 7 people. And how many wanted to be a pro wrestler again? So why didn't any of you guys wrestle amateur?
They didn't offer it in high school.
You didn't have it in your high school? Fair enough. But I knew right when I wanted to be a pro wrestler, that's what I did. I joined I joined the amateur team. We didn't have one until my 8th grade. So I joined that, and then I wrestled in summer tournaments. Then I wrestled 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. And in the off season, all I did was practice promos and wrestling, and I would watch wrestling and record it and go over it in slow motion and just study wrestling. I had no time for friends. Sure, I'd go out and party, but everything was pro wrestling. So when I got in here, I nailed everything. I was right on point. First day of training, knew how to do all the reverses right off the bat where they thought I was trained. I see a lot of people say they always want to be a pro wrestler and this and that. And then you talk about, all right, well, we're going to work on, you're going to give a hip toss. I don't know how to. Well, show me how you think it would be. I don't know. But I always use this comparison. If I ask you to drop back and throw a pass, you'd all know the movement, you'd all know how to do it. So if you guys always wanted to be pro wrestlers, you should know the motion of every single thing that's done in the business, the characteristics, what the look should be. You know, like you guys should have been busting your ass from jump. How many people got, I'm not here for the money, I'm here to teach, but how many people right now got full amount to pay to go to wrestling school? 1. Training's not free. If you want to do it your whole life, if you put away 5 cents a day, you have it. So again, I doubt your sincerity of it. So that's just the type of person I am. I know when you wanted to be a wrestler, you came in and you necessarily didn't look like a wrestler, but you acted like a wrestler, you moved in the ring like a wrestler, you knew everything, you had the money, you were ready to go. He broke in 2004 with me, and he was actually my last match in 2005. And, you know, I see numerous people like, for example, Clutch. You always wanted to be a wrestler your entire life, right?
Yes.
And you came in here at 20 looking like that. And you've done everything I asked. That's why I say, like, you're pretty much what I want out of a student. You listen, you do what I say, and you just keep your mouth shut. And that's what all of you should do. So there's that. How many of you are fans? I mean, everybody's hand should go up. Even our guys. We're all
Oh, I
fans.
thought we couldn't answer.
We're all fans. I mean, we're all fans.
Got to be a fan. of
Never
some of this
watch.
shit.
Never watch. I want to do it, but I've never seen it. What is it?
So like all of you should be fans, but here's the difference. Right when you start training, you're still fans, but you're no longer super fans who wears a Bo Leaf shirt. No offense. But I mean, unless Bo gave that to you.
No.
Exactly. So, you know, like I wear a Boo Meanie shirt. He gave it to me, you know? It's just one of those things. Or if you want to buy one to support, like me and Rip Rogers, I bought one of his shirts because I love Rip. That's way different. But you cease being a fan, you stop going to the Comic-Cons, and you stop, you know, commenting on social media, they booked this the wrong way, they did this, they did that, because you're no longer a fan. You know, you don't see someone who's an actor going, I can't believe Brad Pitt was that shitty in that fucking movie. You know what I mean? If you're an actor, they're your peers. You don't trash anybody, even if you want to say it. You don't do it. Like I tell our guys, there's tons of people released from pro wrestling every year. And every single person who got released this year is probably better than every single person in this room, other than Meanie because he's injured, and QT. So what makes you guys so special that they would pick you up? Like what gets you the tryout is this. Like the hard work that you put into your heart, but what keeps the job is this. A lot of wrestling schools just teach you like in here, but like I tell everybody, this is a very, very, very small piece of it. This is for the fans. The fans might get you the job, like, oh, there's some buzz about you. But as much as great as you could be, if you're an asshole in the back, or if you're not doing what's asked, for example, let's just say these two are almost the same person, and they do all the same things in the ring, and they're almost identical, and their paychecks are the same. But he knows how to do the ring properly. He knows how to, when he goes and does appearance, he always volunteers for it. He actually learned a second language. He's really great with the kids, and he's never headache, never late for anything. He does the opposite of all that. If there's got to be cuts, who am I cutting? Cutting him.
But I'm good. But I'm good.
I know.
You mean it doesn't
This ain't
matter
the
if I'm
NBA,
good?
this ain't the NBA, this ain't the
Right.
NFL.
I was going to say that's the example I always use. Like I played baseball. Baseball, if you hit 50 home runs,
You got a job.
you got a job. I don't care what kind of person you are. In pro wrestling, you can go out there and have the greatest matches every time. Eventually, someone's not going to like your attitude, and it might be someone that's way below you. Then all of a sudden, they get the job way above you, and it's like, oh, remember that time?
Or you
fucking-
can blow something off.
Right, or
And
you
it's
can
not
just say,
wrong.
hey, I'm not gonna. Nah, I'm not asked to be here every day, so I don't have to go.
I've seen people not liked and buried in the business for things totally unrelated to what they had to do in the ring. Just because they didn't answer a proper way, it's just the way the business is, so.
So like showing up late, like that, I was telling these guys, we never trained at 6 o'clock. I put it like this on purpose because I wanted to see who was going to be here on time. Because traffic's going to be a bitch on a Friday at 6 o'clock. I gave most of you guys 40 days to get here. It made the announcement. So I figured who was going to make sacrifices to get here in time, because pro wrestling is about sacrifices. How many people want to wrestle for the WWE? Our guys included. Where do you want to wrestle?
Me?
No, him. Didn't put his hand up.
Staying independent?
You want to be poor your whole life?
No.
Okay, well, that's what you'll get there. What about you?
I just feel like WWE more controls you who you are. Then when you're independent, you're actually your own person.
You'll be poor.
You want to do it as a hobby?
No, I mean I just feel like I said, like
What do you do for a living?
me, I do landscape.
Okay, so I mean, you make all right money. Like, are you okay with having to do landscaping every day and then wrestling on the weekends?
Yeah.
Okay. No. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
Oh,
honestly,
there's
there's
absolutely
absolutely nothing wrong with somebody that says, listen, I don't think I would fit good there. I don't think I like the way that they do stuff. I'd rather just learn how to wrestle. And
You're not going to
let
make a
me be on my
living.
own.
You're not going to make a living on the indies.
There's nothing wrong with being a weekend warrior, as long as
Right.
you still respect every aspect of the business that we teach you and continue your day job. Because throughout the history of the business, that's, people have done that. They've worked as a car mechanic during the week, and on the weekend they wrestled with the guys. But they still respected the business and did what was asked of them. So,
Yeah, because someone, was it you, asked me on the phone, like, what happens after you train here? Do I just get picked up by the Indians? No, I'm not. I'm just saying as an example, like, nobody's like going to just like grab you and just go,
Right.
I'm going to pay you $500 to wrestle for us tonight.
See, I wasn't sure if it was like minor league baseball. I had read my goal
Nah.
was WWE, but I didn't know like
Yeah,
the whole
That's fine.
surrounding
That's
and
fine. But basically, like, you'll be like if you get $20 a match, if that. The guys that get to call their shots and make the good money on the independent scene, like an MVP and like the Young Bucks and all that, they were doing it for years, and they got in somewhere. It's very hard to do that.
they hustle.
Like I had the conversation with MVP when he was talking about like, yeah, I got to call my own shots and this and that. I was like, yeah, but if you weren't at the WWE first, Japan isn't going to grab you, I don't think. He's like, yeah, you're probably right. And I was like, in TNA, and he's like, yeah, you're probably right. So like, you get to call your shots once you make your mark. Being on TV helps tremendously. Then you can say, I'm such and such from NXT. I am such and such from blah blah blah. Like for example, who was it? CJ Parker. He didn't go to NXT. He ain't getting what he gets now. So that's what it is. So for you guys who think like, number one, when you train here, you wrestle for us until your tuition is paid in full, and then you don't go anywhere until you ask our permission. Because we got our name on you. You represent us. If you're a knucklehead and you go somewhere, you represent us. I don't want you wrestling someplace dangerous or someplace that's going to put you in a bad position or make you do stupid shit. And also, we don't pay our wrestlers. The students don't get paid. It's part of paying your dues. It's part of setting this building up, taking this stuff down. Once your tuition is paid in full, and we got a good house, a couple bucks here and there, maybe to do the birthday parties, a couple bucks here and there. But I welcome you all to get 8x10s made, t-shirts made, whatever. You sell it, you keep all the money you want. And that's hustling. Getting to wrestle in front of people is paramount in your growth. And it might sound silly, but like we do kids' birthday parties, and there's 40 to 50 people there for each birthday party. That's better than most independents. And you're working in front of 20, 30 kids, 10 parents, and now you're creating fans that are actually going to come back to see you on a show. Hey, next week I'm wrestling. Oh my God, you're going to have t-shirts and pictures? Yep. Now you just made $30, $40.
Look at John Cena.
Yeah. The kids want to buy that stuff. I know Scorpion and Grey Wolf, you guys do worship Grey Wolf.
Kids love you, man. You and
Yeah,
Scorpion.
I mean, you know, Grey Wolf and Scorpion, you know, they're like the top sellers. I mean, they got the gimmick table set up. I don't go, give me my 5%. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's yours, man. That's your hustle. But you make it to WWE or you make it somewhere, you know, even Ring of Honor and TNA. I don't know the money situation there. I just know what WWE is looking for. So that's what I train people for. Right now, we went through a phase in wrestling where it was, you got trained and you could work territories and get picked up. Now it's like almost like the combine. It's the combine phase of pro wrestling. And even the combine and like, you know, and I use that comparison because the NFL. The NFL has started to get away from that, because now if someone performs great at the combine, it doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna pick you up. But if someone sees someone who is 6'5", 280 and chiseled, and can move around good, we'll sign him, we'll take a chance on him. That's the combine. You could be a way better wrestler than him, but you don't look like him. I can teach this guy to wrestle. I can't teach you to be 6'5", 280 and chiseled. You know, that's just the way the ball bounces. You know, it's business. Man, it's the business. Same way most leading men are very attractive. Most leading ladies are very attractive. That's the business. You know, I'm sure there's way better actors that are ugly as sin, but not many people want to watch an ugly as sin person in a makeout scene. It's just the way it is.
Steve Buscemi.
And there are exceptions. There are exceptions, like the chick from Saturday Night Live, the real fat girl. What's her name? She's in all the movies.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. She's the exception.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be the exception, if that makes sense. Like, because if you're going to be the exception in pro wrestling, the Daniel Bryan, you better be the best fucking person in the world.
Yeah.
Then you can be the exception. So
And everybody always does that. Like, well, what about? Yeah, but that's a.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
That's
but
Haley's comment,
Yeah.
once in a
to
lifetime.
make it easier on yourself and to give yourself the greatest chance, you want to, you know, whatever they're looking for, that should be your goal. I'm going to do, okay, I need to look this way, I need to act this way, I need to perform this way. Well, if I have 100% in all of those, yeah, there's probably a good chance something good's going to come out of it, you know? If you don't, then it's always going to give, if you come up to someone and they say, well, you can work on this a little bit. Fuck, I got to work on that. But you knew that coming in. I've been told that my whole life. But you need to work on this. Okay, we told you 6 months ago you need to work on it. Why aren't you know what I mean? So if you give them a reason to say no, they're going to say no.
Absolutely.
You know, because if they can find someone that they don't have to say no to, or they can't say no to, shit. Well, let's take that guy. I mean, we don't have to worry about him.
Or someone they don't have to tell twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're coaching.
And that goes back to keeping your job, being smart. Walk into it prepared. Always being prepared is the best thing ever. I was telling the kids, like when MVP came in and when X-Pac came in, if I wasn't prepared, like I wasn't getting any extra money for having this place look like this or having all the pictures on the wall and all that. Nobody was like, if you hook this place up, I'll give you $5,000 more a month. But I was like, no, I want to look great. So when people come in, they go, shit, this place is professional as can be. This place is clean. This place is unbelievable. Your kids are respectful. Everybody cleans up after themselves. And, you know, that's why MVP came in here. And that's why X-Pac came in here. And he said, I'll keep coming back. It's because it's run professionally. Now, if I wasn't prepared and I just said, oh, it's a wrestling school, we just need a ring, someone's going to come in and go like, yeah, I'll pass. I really don't want to be attached to this. Same with you guys. If you guys look like shit, you're never even going to get a chance to wrestle. Simple as that. Pass, 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 pass. Oh, 6'5", chiseled. Yeah, get in the ring. See what you got. He's a little rough, but I can work with him. You guys don't see it. So, like all you guys that said you wanted to be a pro wrestler, you guys should be working out constantly, eating right, you know, working your asses off, studying match tape, going over stuff. Go down the line. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Ricky the Steamboat Dragon.
Ricky the Steamboat Dragon? You mean Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? That's all right. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Eddie Guerrero.
Undertaker.
Randy Savage.
CM Punk.
Paul London.
Stone Cold.
Undertaker.
Rick Rude. Heads.
D'Lo Brown.
Eddie Guerrero. Lita.
Shawn Michaels.
Rita.
The Undertaker.
Ultimate War.
The Undertaker? How come we don't have an Undertaker tattoo?
Not yet.
Oh, there she says.
We're not young.
Why don't you make other
Nope.
people get Reba Banks tattoos? How about that?
Shawn Michaels. Triple H.
Hiroshi Hase.
Rey Mysterio.
Jeff Hardy.
Rob Van Dam.
AJ Lee.
Randy Savage.
Owen Hart.
Like your twins.
Chris Jericho.
Did he answer?
Yeah, Rick Rude.
How many of you guys look like any of them?
I kind of look like that.
Savage.
He was a pretty damn in shape guy.
He knew it. He knew
Oh,
it.
you meant that? You know what I mean? Like your face.
Yeah, I don't mean this. I mean,
I'm like AJ this height.
so, you know what I mean? Like, just, guys, shut up. Jeez, fucking Christ, stop getting your shit in. That's what I'm saying, like, all you guys, like, I know, like, when I was growing up, like, I was like, I want to be like Shawn Michaels, so I got to work on this, I got to work like that. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, fucking Lightning Kid came out. I'm like, fuck, I'm kind of built like him, but I got to do what he does now. So then, like, I had to, like, work on, you know, being flexible and doing karate and all that shit. But, like, I like to always tell people, like, are they your favorite because they're entertaining to you, or your favorite because that's who you would like to be like? That's the thing.
Be like,
Because, like, me, I, like, my favorites were the guys I wanted to be like. And I could see myself being like. Like, I would never go Andre the Giant. Like, my favorite also was Stan Hansen. And I fucking throw clothes on like him, and it's not because I'm blind. Like him, I just like to kill people with my clotheslines.
Ironically, for me, it was Bam Bam Bigelow.
Meh.
Big guy, agile guy, could do a moonsault. You know?
Who was yours, Grey Wolf?
Hogan.
And you got his, like, theatrics, the way you do things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I do. I told people all I do. I'm not doing anything new. I'm just taking what somebody else did and repackage it and make it my own. So when I do it, it's, you know, done my way and my own way.
Everything in wrestling is.
Well, the same goes for this. Same goes for music. Even musicians. Anybody who's been a musician, I don't know, you know, familiar. You take songs you like, you know, you take artists that you like, you kind of start playing stuff, replicate what they do, and then you make a new sound with combined, you know, a sound of different artists that you've liked, and you make something new. You make something that's your own, and that's your expressive. That's your art. You know, because pro wrestling isn't just a craft what we do in the ring. It's also when you get to a certain level and understand what's happening with the craft, which is the mechanism to get to the art, then you can start expressing yourself through that, and it becomes your personal art and your personal expression through you, if that makes any sense at all.
I bet you didn't think any of that was going to come out of his head.
But to
I
his
see his
credit,
Facebook post.
yeah, but to his credit, he had a tryout with the WWE. A month later, I went to a WWE show, you know, trying to, you know, work my gimmick. And everybody I talked to when I said I was a coach at the Monster Factory remembered him.
Yep.
They're like, that guy was great. He's the WWE guys went into the stands to watch him wrestle.
Yeah.
And they talked about him to me when I said I was a coach at the Monster Factory because they knew who he was. So that's a testament to him.
Now, does anyone know what, like, a tryout match is? Anyone know? I know our guys should know. But basically, back in the day, it used to be like a dark match, and you'd wrestle in front of people. Now, they take you and another person, you get in the ring. Would they give you 5 minutes, 6 minutes?
I think it was 5.
They give you 5 minutes.
No
and
crowd.
No crowd. And they'll have a couple agents there, and the boys, the wrestlers, will watch you.
Who are there basically, you're their entertainment for the day, whether you're good or bad.
And they're just waiting to do whatever they get. You're just in there filling up time until they have to do what they have to rehearse in the ring.
So that's pretty tough to
They
do.
might not even pay attention to you, and they might be just all bullshit and playing on their phones, you know. They might not even be looking at you when you're in the ring because they see 100 of these things a week, you know.
So that's how you get their attention. So at times when we tell you to do things, you're like, well, I feel stupid, you know. I can only do this in front of, like, a crowd and all. Get used to doing it in front of nobody.
Business is changing.
Yep. Like, you write for that movie part. Like, we get offered, like, being the Monster Factory, I get inundated with people, I didn't tell you guys, I told QT and him. I got offered, like, to be, like, an executive producer on a movie, and they want to use, like, all you guys for the movie, battle scenes. So I got to go over the paperwork and everything for it, but, like, that's an interesting thing, but, like, he got, like, a part in a TV show on, was it Cinemax? It's not one of those shows.
Bounce, you can bounce.
It was one of those shows.
Was it really?
No.
So what's that say? That's awesome. But no, it's not one of those shows. But he got a chance to read for a part, and he got it, and he got paid for it.
And I just got in the mail yesterday. I was accepted to the Screen Actors Guild.
Nice. Like that's like another thing that like can open doors for you. And I didn't have to contact him. Didn't have to contact anybody. The person hit me up. I got no money from you. You didn't give me anything, did you?
No.
So all those times, right? So all those times, like you know, you don't get paid for the shows. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it all the times you had to set up the ring and hear me
Yeah.
yell at you for not doing something right?
Yeah.
So like that's what goes into paying your dues. But trust me, if he was a piece of shit, I wouldn't have told people about it. But all our students, you know, I want the best for them. It's not just I want them to be a good wrestler. I want them to be better people. That's why, like, how many times I get on people about school and jobs and all that other stuff. Like, I get on you. Have I ever yelled at you guys for missing because of school?
No.
Right? And then I think I yelled at Spanish because I didn't know that he dropped out of college. So, like, you know, I actually give a shit about you guys. I'll never give any of you guys trouble if you can't come in because of school. You know?
You always need something to fall back.
Yeah.
In education.
But, yeah, that's what the dark match is, or that's what your tryout match is. And then from there they might go, we like you, we're going to give you an NXT tryout. That's got to be a neighbor. I was going to say because the park lots are over there.
Clutch ain't out there, is it?
Yeah.
Which a tryout consists of no wrestling whatsoever.
No,
So,
that's why
Absolutely
we condition the guy. That's why I said it's the combine. It's the combine era. They basically, for 3 days. How many guys have trained so hard they puked? I mean, something to be ashamed of. You should.
You're not training hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but that's you're 3 days, and they try to. They don't haze you, and they don't like throw shit at you or anything like that. They let you sit out if you want to, but they want to see what you're made of, and you work your ass off for 3 days straight. And people with experience sometimes do get to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Luis did not get the chance to wrestle, and he had 12 years experience. And that's just the way it is. Like our guy, Steve Cutler, who got picked up, he wrestled for us as Tommy Macklin. He came to one of these. We had a tryout in May of 2012. He came in. He was the first guy to go through the tryout and do the seminar. And he came back and he joined. And Joe Briscoe came in to scout people. And he had 18 matches. And Joe Briscoe liked his look. If anybody knows, does anyone know who Steve Cutler is? All right. Well, you guys know who Steve Cutler is. He's been here.
Who?
Who's Tommy?
What's Tommy?
But basically, the guy is he looks like John Cena, but he's a legitimate Marine who did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he's, what, 28 or 27? Pisses clean, and a good kid. And he had 18 matches. He went and killed the tryout, and they offered him a contract. 18 matches. He didn't have to wrestle, do nothing. But when Joe Briscoe talked to me, he said he's everything WWE wants. He's somebody that if you leave them the keys to your house for a week, you know if you come back, not only is it going to be okay, but it's probably going to look better than when you left it. And that's what they want. They want people not fucking around, not starting trouble. You know, you left the keys to the building and everything should be perfect. It's a really screwed up business, but it's like one of the best businesses because like you're an entrepreneur, you're your own business. You can go out and, you know, wrestling doesn't work out, you get a podcast. You could get a job training. There's so many different things, TV roles, movie roles. It sets you up for everything. You might find out that you're not a great wrestler, but you could make a good referee because you're a little undersized. You know, somebody from that wrestles here, you know, is going to get a job as a referee, and that's awesome. A lot of people might go, well, I don't want to do that. Your foot's in the door. Now your foot's in the door, you do the right things, you never know where that could lead to. You're still getting paid. So take the breaks as they come. But then it could be like one of the worst businesses, because again, like we said, you could be the greatest pro wrestler ever. Someone doesn't like you, you're gone. Or if you are with the wrong girl, somebody else is with that girl, you're gone. Simple as that. So it's one of those things where it's a big political game. Is that, I guess, political? But it's not really. It's not like an ass-kissing game. But if you do the right shit, you be a man.
One example, guy I know went up to work for WWE. The guy said to him, do you like to work heel or do you like to work babyface? He's like, I could do both. Well, the guy wanted an answer. He didn't want to hear, I could do both. He got shit canned. Good looking guy.
And you would think by saying that, you're saying, like, I can do anything.
You think you're giving the right answer. But that guy just, he told him, you know, I could do both too. He was an asshole. So he went,
Yeah. And it all takes is somebody to be in a bad
it's
mood.
actually a known guy too.
All it takes is somebody not to like you, or say the wrong thing, or have the wrong joke, or the wrong attitude, or be late. Those are the things.
What it comes down to, guys, is really fundamentally have respect, not only for people in the business, people that have come before you, you know, have respect for everybody that you see that you walk in the door and you see, you know, if you see somebody setting up the ring, even if you're wrestling, nobody's beneath you, you know, everybody's been somewhere and everybody's going somewhere. And have respect not only for everybody else, but have respect for yourselves as well. And when you start finding that you have respect for yourselves, you'll find that respect does start expanding into other things. And you'll find little things to be, you know, appreciative and grateful for and have gratitude about. And that just goes for all facets of life. And you start practicing that, you begin to, you know, start walking along that path. Eventually, you'll find that that'll come to reward you in some sort of way. And that's really what this is all, you know, what they're saying extends into. They have respect for people, and you just treat people properly, and you act properly, and you're not a jerk off. That's going to get you a lot farther than if you behave inappropriately or, you know, are a pain in the ass. And the main thing I feel like it comes down to, for me especially, is just respect. Just have respect for yourself and have respect for everybody else that's around you.
And that's from the main event to the person who tears the tickets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody. Treat it like a normal job, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm a giant Yankee fan. They show the thing about Derek Jeter, even if he's only doing it for the video. But he's saying hello to, like, the dude that's just standing beneath the steps by the dugout. Hey, shakes his hand. Like, that's why everyone likes him. No matter what he does off camera or when he's not seen, he's like the model citizen for professional baseball. Was he the best? No. Was he as good as certain guys? Like, I think A-Rod is better than him. But look at the stigma that guy has compared to what Derek Jeter has. You know what I mean? So, and another thing I wanted to say is, you're going to get what you put in, if that makes sense. Like, I always wanted to be the best wrestler. I'm pretty good at wrestling. I never wanted to be the best bodybuilder. Case in point. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? So, whatever, like, you realize, like I said, you need to have this, and this, and to get here, well, have all of those things. Because if not, then you shouldn't ever think that you're owed something. So, whatever you're going to put in, if you're going to put in 150%, maybe you'll get 100% back, you know? If you're not going to give 100% and 150%, the odds are, you know, it's not going to happen. You know, and you have to be realistic about it too. Like, the biggest thing I hate is hearing people tell me how much they want to do something and then they don't do it, or they don't show up, or they're here and I tell them something and they just make the same mistake again and again. And it's like, you just told me you understand. You told me you understand. You went through it. Now how come you're not doing it? Do you not care?
You're basically telling your trainers you know better.
Right. Or like, do you not want to do it? You know. And like I said, I never get mad at anybody. You can look me right in the face and tell me, like, no, I just believe something else. And I'll give you the legitimate chance to explain why. And if you're right, hey, more power to you.
And then I'll boot you out.
But yeah, he's a little bit different. But at the same time, like I said, you know, just know that this is something that's serious. You know, like I said, I've been doing this for 11 years. Have I made a lot of money? No, not in pro wrestling. Have I been signed to one of the biggest companies in the United States? Yes. Now, was that because of hard work? Because when I got signed to Ring of Honor, did I look the part? Yes, 100%. As soon as I stopped looking the part, and I was gone. You know? Like you said, it's not about getting the job, it's about keeping the job.
Yeah.
You know? Unfortunately, I never had someone telling me that kind of stuff, because once I left here and I was on my own, and I was in Florida, I did things my way. You know? Now that I'm back here, and I have this guy in my ear nonstop every day,
Yeah.
do this, what do you do? What'd you eat today? So leave me alone, man. Like, but at the same time,
And I've known him forever, and I yell at him, and he doesn't go like, you can't yell at me. He lets me yell at him. Same with like Luis.
Right. And that's the thing too, like, if you, like he says this all the time, if you surround yourself with people that just praise you all the time, you're the asshole, to be honest. If you sit there and actually believe that what everyone is telling you is the truth. Because if it was the truth, you'd be headlining WrestleMania. You'd be headlining, you know what I'm saying? You want the people that are going to say, no, hey man, you need to work on this. Hey, you need to work on that. Nick, you got to work on your calves. You know what I mean? All this other stuff. But for real, I mean, if you just have someone just nonstop, oh man, you're great. Then you're going to look in the mirror and be like, well, what the hell? What's going on? I'm great. Everyone's talking I'm great. How come I'm not there?
In this business, I've learned that the people who want your spot will tell you the things you want to hear because they hope you fail and they want your spot. So when you fail, they can go,
Yep. See ya.
my turn.
Everybody's replaceable, guys. In this
Yeah.
business, everybody's
Everybody.
replaceable, and for
Except
every spot
Vince.
there's 10 guys that are hungry to get it.
Yeah.
There's 10 guys that want to see you fail and don't want you to succeed because they want your spot, and you know what, if you stop working for it, there's going to be those 10 guys working twice as hard, 3 times, 10 times as hard to get that spot that you're in.
And
I'd rather have somebody tell me something I did wrong than
We-
constantly
I was
going,
gonna-
yeah, Bride, yeah.
I was going to say, I like what you said, Meany, because
Because we
a
care.
lot of other schools, like, I've been to a lot of schools. I've looked around. When I moved to Florida, I had to train in other places. Look at who's training you. Look at what their goals are. If he's here and he's trying to make it to WWE, and he has a school because he was fortunate enough to have a ring and a building and all this stuff, are you really going to believe everything he says? You might think, well, he might be telling you stuff just to keep you here and keep paying money. You know, that's the other thing. Like I tell everybody, I'm still trying to make it. So you're all my competition. Now, granted, when I walk through this door and I put this shirt on, I'm here to train you. I'm here to coach you and get you guys better because essentially you're not as good as me anyway. And that's what I believe. But at the same time, know that if we were to go outside of here and we're on the same show, I'm going to do my best to outperform every single one of you. But where he comes in, if he tells me something, I know he's steering me in the right direction. Why? He wants me to make it. Why? I'm a coach at the Monster Factory. I trained at the Monster Factory. So if I headline WrestleMania, and maybe it's not on TV because they don't want to promote our school, but in the Miami Herald it says, yo, he trained at the world famous Monster Factory, you know, from 2004 till 2015, whatever. You know, and then he was a coach there. How much? That's only going to help him.
Yeah,
So
that's
you-
all I want. I want everybody gone from here as quick as possible.
Right.
Seriously, not that I hate people, but like like if you're here for more than like 3 or 4 years, I consider it a failure. Now, he's been here long because I was never training him before and he was never with us.
Failure, bro.
The Monster Factory wasn't what it is now.
Right.
It just wasn't. We had a ring and that was it. And that was it. And we had summers off. Go figure. I mean, we're in here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday if you want it, Sunday if you want it. Weight room's open at 7 o'clock till 8:30. And you get in here and we start. And we'll train. There's been time we stayed in here till 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll stay until someone wants to, you know, till the last person wants to. What the fuck is this? Oh, Phil. So like I'll stay until the last person, you know, wants to leave the fucking building. Simple as that.
And sometimes all the lessons don't happen in the ring. Some
It's
of the lessons
these
could be here
talks.
just talking. You know, some of the best lessons I've learned is just listening to people, and listening to their stories and what they did and what they did right and what they did wrong. Because I've done some things right, I've done plenty of wrong. But I've learned from it, and hopefully I can pass it on.
As you're speaking on that, there's a million times when you've been in here long enough, I'm sure all you guys have heard it, where some people tell the same stories over and over again. Right? We've all heard it, like I'll tell a story or he'll tell a story or he'll tell a
Chair
story or Bill will tell a story. But no, but there's also a time where you've seen us teach a wrist lock to somebody. Why? Because it's their first time learning a wrist lock where they need to perfect it. That's why we're telling that story again, or you know, stuff like that.
That's what I was going to say. How many of you thought as soon as we started, everyone was going to get in the ring and start doing warm-ups and squats and all this other stuff?
Be honest.
Without reading the write-up. It's okay. I mean, I'm not going to get mad if you thought that. Like, that's what I was thinking. My first day of wrestling school, I thought I was going to learn how to do the people's elbow. I swear to God, that's what I thought. I was like, so,
He had his elbow pad ready.
I was like, yeah, I was talking to the trainer, like, yeah, when The Rock gets hit, he smacks the guy's arm and makes that cool sound. The guy's like, "Okay, I'm an asshole." Right? But I thought that's what I was gonna learn, how to sell a punch, you know? And he's like, first we're gonna teach you how to get in the ring, and then we're gonna teach you how to walk. And I'm thinking like, this is not what I paid for, right? But essentially, if you didn't know how to ride a bike and they just threw you on the bike, you know, you probably get hurt. And that's, like I said, it starts here, you know, and these, as much as it's frustrating sometimes to sit and listen, you're not realizing it, but you put all this knowledge in your head, in your back pocket, you never know when you're gonna need it. Like, you never know. Me told the story about the first class plane ticket, where he got a first class plane ticket and all the veterans got on the plane, and he didn't give up the seat, and
The major heat.
he got major heat for it.
My first weekend in WWE, I'll give you the abridged version. Being a wrestler, I'm used to driving, so we're doing Philly, Baltimore. Next day's Connecticut. I was like, oh, I'll just drive straight to Connecticut from Baltimore. That's what we do. They're like, no, idiot, we fly you now. So I go from Philly to Baltimore. In Baltimore, I go to fly to Connecticut. So they bought me a ticket last second. And I get the ticket, I go, 1A, that's the front of the fucking plane, ain't it? Right? And I'd say, yeah, he's like, yeah, that's first class. Not smarting me out, seeing what I was going to do. So I get on the fucking plane, seat 1A, me, big boss man, Shawn Michaels, another name.
An Undertaker. And
Yeah. And I knew I was fucked when Mick Foley walked on the plane. And Mick Foley, has a back and he goes, oh, meanie. What'd you do? I went, what? I felt like Fredo. What? I'm smart. During the course of the flight, Shawn Michaels doesn't give a shit, because he knows that I'm probably, but he's still talking to me, all the guys are talking to me, but you hear from the back of the plane, why is the blue meanie in fucking first class? So I just sink in my seat, we land, I fly, everybody gives me the fucking eye. And D'Lo Brown comes up to me and goes, I would have offered it to a veteran. And I went, oh. So I learned a lesson. Flash forward, and it got worked out. Thank God for Gerald Briscoe being understanding and saying, we know you're new here. Don't do it again.
I know you're new here, son.
I know you're new here, man. So just don't do it again. Flash forward to 2005, I go back to WWE. And we're flying from Sacramento to Chicago to Philly. Get my ticket, I go, first class, right? So I'm getting on the plane, I go, hey, Mr. Ricky Steamboat, first class. He's like, no, meaning I'm good here. I was like, no, you want to sit in first class, right? The fucking take the fucker ticket, Ricky. And eventually I gave it to Tony Graham. I was like, I ain't pulling for this shit. I learned a lesson. But on the layover from Chicago to Philly, I was in first class. But
that's,
it's a lesson.
Yeah, these stories help out.
It's a mistake.
But now, like, all you guys heard that story, so maybe it's your shoot job that's flying you somewhere, and you get a first class ticket, and now the vice president walks up, not vice president, because he probably has the first class ticket, but somebody higher up than you, you're either going to offer the ticket, or you're going to look at him and go, fuck yourself. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And then you might say fuck you, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you're fired because that guy wanted you fired.
A lot of times you're going to get tested. Yeah. And they're just going to do something to see how you react.
Like today.
And you won't know it until you've made the mistake.
And guys, it could be something as simple as when they called me up to do the extra work and I was there for 4 days, I was minding my P's and Q's, dotting my I's and crossing my T's, and down to everything, down to what I'm eating at catering. You don't know when somebody's looking. You don't know if somebody's watching on camera right now. You don't know who's watching when. I was making sure all my diet's perfectly clean, that I'm not eating anything I shouldn't be. Yes sir, no sir. You just
everybody's watching.
Everything is a test all the time, guys.
Everybody's
you never know who's watching and when they're watching. So you always.
And I do a constant.
WWE, right? I know. I'm a cookie monster when I'm there. I'm like, oh, cheesecake? Yeah, I'll take it.
I was there in October, I think.
Chicken breast and salad, brother. That's it.
I was there in October, I think catering like 8 times. I was like, I'm good, man.
But I even do it here.
I brought Tupperware.
I even do it here with testing people and screwing around with people. Nick, what'd I do your first day here ever?
You told me to get dressed and then you just ignore me for like.
I just told him to sit in the back and stay dressed in case we needed him. He didn't know what to do with himself. He was so antsy, and he was just wandering around in the back in trunks and boots,
Twirling
no
his
shirt
hair.
on, and just didn't know what to do. And then after an intermission, he starts to get dressed, and I go, "What are you doing?" "I'm getting dressed." The show isn't over. You got someplace to go? No. I was like, "Stay fucking dressed." And what happened with you, Billy? Remember you called me up?
Stayed here till 10 o'clock before you acknowledged I was here.
Yep. I do it to everybody. Like if someone comes in, I'll just make them sit there, and I just want to get inside their head and let them see everything that's going on. And they'll just sit there, and they'll be like, "Did he forget about me? Did he?"
Stick you out of the ring for the whole show.
Yeah. And they'll just sit there, and then all of a sudden, all right, get in the ring for your tryout. You know, and this way, you know, if someone says like, "I gotta leave, I gotta go somewhere." Listen, if this is something you want to do your entire life, you'll blow off anything.
Yeah.
You know.
Sacrifice, guys.
It's one of those things. So how many people honestly want to train here? I know you're trained at the House of Hardcore, but how many people honestly want to train here? And I'm not saying to make a decision. I'm like, "Oh, we're going to do this," but you know what I mean. But like, I'm just saying, like, so how many people were late? You don't count, Scorpion. Neither do you, Jorge. You're already here. You were late. Raise your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people were late. You contacted me. Nobody else did.
Oh, he was the voicemail?
Yeah. So I know if I was going to show up someplace that could potentially get me to where I wanted to go in professional wrestling, number one, I would have left it 1 in the afternoon. What's up, brother?
I apologize, but can I step out and use the bathroom?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I don't want to
No,
interrupt.
yeah, bring diapers.
To help with your bums. But yeah, like I would make sure as fuck that I would have contacted the guy who could help me get to where I want to go.
On the other hand, there's someone that came like extremely early. You don't got to be here 6 hours early either, you know.
And try to get in numerous times
Yeah.
when I told you the doors open at 5.
So don't be that guy either, you know.
I'm not saying who it is.
I don't know.
I don't know who showed up at 10:30 a.m.
Man, see, I say it, I look down, I don't look at anybody. You're like, I don't know who it is. Differences.
But, no, it's all right. But, I mean, how many people made it a priority? But you didn't. You were late.
I contacted you though.
I know. But,
Vince, I know it's WrestleMania, but sorry, be late. I'm gonna be late. Yeah.
like, right now, this is
Shit
the most
traffic.
important thing in your life.
Put me on 7.
You know what I mean? So, like,
Tell Cena I'm gonna be late. You gotta open up.
come see this. So, I mean, like, that's the way you got to treat everything. Like, I tell everybody, like, if I didn't show up to go help out a friend with training some people, none of you guys would be here right now because I showed up. And Larry happened to come in and saw what was going on and saw what I was doing and just said, "Holy shit, you should be my trainer. I remember you. Holy shit." And then it was, from then on, you know. But if I didn't take that trip to go see somebody, I'm not there. So, like, you never know. Like, there was a funny story. What was the thing posted about the Intercontinental Championship? It was supposed to go on Butch Reed, and then it was supposed to go on somebody else. And then
It's
finally, yeah,
trickle
Jake,
down.
Butch Reed didn't show up, Jake the Snake didn't show up, and then Honky Tonk Man's walking down the hallway, and Hogan goes, "What about putting it on him?"
Great, sir.
Yeah, exactly. He held that belt for a long ass time.
He was there.
And Butch Reed didn't have a job much longer after that. So, I mean,
He was jacked.
yeah. So, I mean, like, that's all it takes is you never know when that moment can happen. Like, Matthew Riddle lawyer contacted me, and I called him back within 2 minutes. And I was the only one who called him back immediately. Some didn't call him back, and others called back and said, I don't feel comfortable because the lawyer's calling me about this guy. What's going on? Like, what do you got to hide? Like, this guy wants to get trained. He used to be in the UFC. He's got a representative. Came in here, and it's been great press for us, and he's got a tryout in June. I told him immediately when he came in, I could get your tryout tomorrow. But for your benefit, I don't want to see you go there and say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing in front of the wrong people, and also be labeled as an outsider coming in. But if you've made sure to train properly, had the right people in here, that's why I put up a lot of his matches, is because I know where he's going, and I don't want people to ever think that he didn't pay his dues or do what he was supposed to do. He's in a real different situation than most people, but I don't hesitate to yell at him or scream at him. Occasionally I'll hug him just so he doesn't punch me in the face. But I do yell at him, and I do make him answer my calls, and nobody gets special treatment. They might get treated a little differently, but it's no more special than I would for somebody else. Like, somebody has issues with payments, come to me. I'll work with you. But if you all of a sudden have no money for payments, and I see you with new wrestling gear, and I see you on Facebook drinking Fireball or whatever the hell that shit is, and you're partying, and you got
the latest Madden.
Yeah, you got that PS4 or whatever the hell, then I got issues.